Okay, here we are in game 3 of round 2 of the Modern Daily. This hand is as good as I can possibly ask for, actually. If he doesn't have a lot of early blockers and stuff, um, Geist Saint Trap can do a lot of damage. Here, this isn't the greatest card against him, but if I have it early, the way I'm set up to here, it can actually do the job. So we're going to keep this hand. Let's start off with the Bird Paradise. Starts off with the Soul Order. Yeah, he's definitely on Soul Sisters, at least. I haven't seen a single Martyr proc card, really, so I'm glad I didn't side into that. So we're going to play the Geist of Saint Draft here. Give him Kai. Sarah Ascendant. I guess, yeah, that's usually the game plan for Soul Sisters. This guy turns really freaking big if you let it. If this turns into a 6/6, if he gets 30 life, then he pretty much is just going to win the game. So I am going to play a Pride Mage here. I'm going to attack and hope he just triple blocks. I think that'd be a really bad block for him. Trading one card for 3 of his cards is a deal that I will do like any day of the week, especially because I still have threats in my hand. So if he really wants to kill the Geist of Saint Traft here, I'm just going to go ahead and let him. He gains the damn life from Soul Warden and the Angel. Boy, he is triple blocking. Boy. This either means he's not very good or he has a really good hand. I hope it means he's just not really good, but I mean, if you're in his shoes, you have to assume that I have a lot of threats here. I just wouldn't be attacking with this. Yeah. Seems like a bad block on his part. Yeah, nothing. I'm gonna sack this Rising Campaign draw card. I wish this wasn't an island. It's kind of awkward. I would really love to be able to just double Strangleroot guys here. But you can't always get what you want. So we're gonna leg out. Okay. We're gonna swing in these two. I could keep. I could play the Noble Hierarch here, but it doesn't actually do. Sorry, I'm getting a little loud from moving my chair. I could play the Noble Hierarch here and then just swing with the Strangleroot guys, but it actually doesn't do any extra damage, and I'd rather not play in case he has a sweeper. If I could play Strangleroot guys, I really wouldn't mind because it's so resistant to sweepers, but I don't want to play the Noble Hierarch if I don't have to. Got the Shrine. Your Eos. It's a pretty good card. Yes, Sarazak. Murder of Sands. Huh. Okay. I'm a little worried about this. I didn't see any Martyr proc cards in the first 2 games, but you just search up a Martyr of Sands. And I don't have a sideboard. I'm not sideboarded against that deck. Really look like he's playing Soul Sisters. I guess he's playing some sort of combination of the two, which it really dilutes the quality of it because you really want to go one game plan or the other. Splitting it 2 just means you could end up drawing cards that are a mix of the two that don't work well together. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the deck. I could just be completely wrong, and his deck is fine. But that's not how it seems. Anyway. I'm gonna get Dry Harbor here, so I can play the Strangleroot guys and put a ton of pressure on him. He's gonna chump block. Like Ranger of Eos isn't his game plan. It's to just search things up. So he's gonna chump block, and I'm gonna get a ton of pressure, and I can actually get him really low, which is a big deal. I want to have him on a fast clock, because if he starts playing things, then he gains more life, and the more life he gains, of course, the stronger his deck becomes. So we'll play Strangler-Geist here. And we're going to swing in with Team. Uh-oh. Okay. The fact that he's blocking the Strangler-Geist as opposed to anything else means that he has a Wrath of God in his hand. This means that this one is going to just die to the Wrath of God. If he didn't have the Wrath, he wouldn't want to be increasing the power of these guys by blocking with the Undying. So I'm definitely going to get my board wiped. So I'm absolutely not playing any of these two guys. I'm still in an okay position. I'll have a Noble Hierarch and a bigger Strangler Geist for the next turn. So I'm okay with the Wrath of God here, though I obviously would prefer him not casting it. So we'll just go ahead and pass the turn, and ta-da, Wrath of God. Alright. Path Exile. Alright, so we're just going to play the Noble Hierarch here, and swing for Exalted. Him down to 6, which is a nice life total to have him down to. Another Wrath of God. Yeah, that's just bad for us. I mean, double Wrath of God is kind of hard back-to-back turns. I was prepared for the first one, but now I'm in a really bad situation. I guess in retrospect, I shouldn't have searched for that Dread Arbor, because right now I could at least have another threat to go on the board here. But I'm left with a Birds of Paradise and a Path to Exile, and his deck is absolutely built for recovery. I need to continuously apply pressure. So, just gonna get Temple Garden at the end of the turn. Alright, the Reliquary is pretty good. If he doesn't have another answer right here, then obviously that's a 6/6 that represents lethal. He has 5 cards in his hand, and I mean, excuse me. I know one of them is the Martyr of Sands, so he's going to be gaining life. I really depends on what his hand is. I could just be screwed here. Yeah, there's the Martyr of Sands. Let's get rid of that. He still has a Saracen on his head, and he is. He sacrificed the Martyr Sand, so what did he? Oh, he's back up to 15 he revealed. One of those Sarah's Ascendant is the one I saw already, but also his Lingering Souls, Saracen, shit. He is on Proclamation of Rebirth. That is kind of annoying. He actually didn't play a single proc card prior to this game, so I actually sideboarded completely wrong, which is bad news. I'm not feeling very confident about this game. And looks like he's about to play Lingering Souls here too, which is bad. Okay, now something you don't get to see, unfortunately, because of how I'm actually doing the replay right now, because of what happened in my original recordings, is my opponent has been playing extremely slow. He could be having connection problems or something, but he actually is taking a really long time between each decision. So what I'm going to do is something that people might find morally questionable, I guess. I'm going to try to time him out. He's playing a deck that doesn't kill very fast. It's focused on gaining life, and the game's taken an awful long time. And right now, his double Wraths really, really set me back to the point where I don't think I'm going to be able to kill him. He's got the Proclamation of Rebirth here, which means he's going to keep getting back the Martyr of Sands, and he stands to gain an absurd amount of life. So I don't think that I'm going to be able to kill him legitimately. Some people might not like this decision I'm going to make here. Like, they think it's like cheesy or whatever. But if you're going to play one of the slowest decks in the format and you're going to play really slow, then this might just happen to you sometimes. You have to know that going in. Little spoiler here is my opponent gets kind of pissed off at me and starts, talking trash or whatever. I pretty much ignore it, but he's not very happy about my decisions here. But he just plays so slow that it really turns into like the most legitimate strategy for me to win this game. It's not something you can do in paper Magic, and I would never ever suggest people like purposely slow play in paper Magic. But if you're playing online where it's like set up like chess as far as the timer goes, then it's actually measuring how much time you're taking versus your opponent. And if I'm playing slow on purpose because he's playing slow on purpose, then it's really his fault, because if he ends up timing out because of it, he legitimately still took more time than I did. So even if I'm purposely doing it, like, it's still his own fault. He should have like upped the speed of his play or whatever. If it's just a connection problem that he's having, I feel a little bad. But you'll notice here there's like gaps where like decisions he's making take like significant amount of time in between when they're really not that hard of a decision. So if you want to see how this plays out, you can keep your eye on these clocks here. I kind of, when things go in the stack, I stop for a few seconds and before clicking OK, because he like has ADD or something and can't keep watching the screen. I mean, if he just was focused on this, he'd be able to like just F6, and get through it. But if he's like double queued or lagging or something, then it's kind of his own fault. But anyway, this is probably wicked boring for all of you, so I'm not going to keep chattering on about that. But this, just so you're aware, this is what ends up happening in this game. Well, evidently I hadn't made that decision yet, because I'm obviously attacking here. But that is where the game is going. Okay, yeah, this is where I make the decision to do that, though, with the Ranger of Aos. He just is going to have way too much stuff, and extra Martyr of Sands and everything. So my game plan now is definitely to time him out. I'm going to just, like, speed through this a little bit here. The game ends up going to time. Spoiler alert. Yeah, another Wrath of God. This is not exactly the most riveting matchup to watch. That's why I'm speeding through it. It's just pretty boring. There's a few key plays that I'll mention as we go through it, but I'm not gonna go through the play-by-play of this whole part. It's not fun to watch. Yeah, see, he's just gaining tons of life. I think at this point he doesn't realize what my game plan is. And this is why, this is, I think, the key decision he makes, which ends up costing him the game, is that he plays a Ghost Quarter, which is an absolute excellent card for him to draw here, but he targets the Tectonic Edge. And what he definitely should be targeting here is the Moorland Haunt, because right now my game plan is to just chump block the hell out of him and hope he times out. And Moorland Haunt is the thing that's going to let me do that. The fact that he kills my Tech Edge means that I'm going to have all the time in the world, because of all these creatures I have in my graveyard, that it's like infinite chump blockers for the Sarah Ascendant, which is going to get up to the 6/6. And his reasoning behind it, you'll see next turn, is that he has the Emeria the Sky Ruin, which is a card that I'll bring it up, but his line of play here is to have the Emeria Sky Ruin, which helps enable his combo. where he's just going to keep getting cards back from his graveyard. It's if you have 7 during your upkeep, if you have 7 or more planes in play, you can return a creature from your graveyard to play. The problem I have with his line of play here is he already has the Proclamation of Rebirth, which is essentially giving him near infinite amounts of life. I mean, it's infinite as far as this game is concerned. So the Emeria doesn't actually help his game plan anymore. It's at this point, it's almost win more. What he really should have done is kill his Moreland Hot, so he has a way of winning the game. But he obviously hasn't realized it at this point yet. Yeah, here he goes. He also cast Proclamation of Rebirth, which is just questionable. If he doesn't need to be getting 3 of them back now, he's so far ahead. He just opened himself up to lose the proc to Spell Pierce. He definitely should not have done that. Yeah. See, I think he realizes it now because I'm starting to just chump block him. Get rid of his 2 Dark Confidants. I just don't want him drawing more threats. Playing Elspeth here, and I just make blockers. And yeah, he played his own Elspeth to kill it right away, which kind of sucks, but. Yeah, I completely don't care about him gaining life. My game plan now is totally just to time him out. There's the Emeria Skyrun if you wanted to see it. Him gaining life. Like, he doesn't need to be doing any of this. He should absolutely be on the offensive now. He's in no danger of dying right now. He has so much life, and he knows he can continuously gain life. Right now, his strategy should be killing me. I'm at 10. Like, I'm really low if he's on the aggressive plan. But he isn't doing it. He's like, look, he's just attacking with 1 guy. What I think is that he's so caught up in his game plan, like the strategy he knows going in, that he's not adapting to what's actually happening in this game. So, chump block. Yeah, look at this. Like, he's taking so long for his decisions. I've got like 3 minutes ahead of him here, which is, there's just no excuse. If you're playing the slow deck, you need to be like upping the tempo so that you don't end up having this happen to you. Just rush through this all. Like another turn goes by where he's just not alpha striking me. There's no need for it. And he's just playing more triggers, which take up more time. Here's where he acts absolutely, excuse me, tongue-tied there. He actually realizes at this point that he's supposed to be attacking me, but it's already in the blinking yellow, like danger, danger, danger. You're almost out of time before he realizes this. Still playing guys though. Yeah, and there's, look at this. Goes down. 7-2-0. Look at this. He's got lethal on the board. I have 6 seconds left when he times out and I win. He had a few choice words for me after this, but honestly, he should have taken this as a lesson where when you're playing Magic, you're playing against your opponent, but you're also playing in a game that has a clock, and you need to be aware of the clock. I mean, I feel a little bad. It does feel a little cheesy winning this way, but it's something that you have to be aware of, and hopefully him playing this slow deck, he's aware of this from now on, and so he actually benefits a little from having this happen to him, though he certainly was not happy about it right after. Anyway, sorry for this round. This was a really, really shitty round that is not entertaining, but I promise you the next 2 rounds are freaking awesome, so stay tuned.